it's Nikki Dore again. I wanted to talk about auras today for this kind of daily video. I was asked, how do you see auras? So the first thing that I want to do is dispel a few myths. When a lot of the times when people say see, they often mean sense. Because the reason is, people have this idea that you're always going to see, and that's only kind of one sense, which is the clairvoyant sense, clear seeing. And actually there's so many different senses, psychic and mediumistic senses, in the same way that there's senses about, there's your sense of smell, your sense of taste, which are physical senses, which also come into play with this. So when we talk about the aura, the auric field, and when we're talking about seeing it, we're actually going, how do we sense it? Now, I'm very claircognizant, so I will not very rarely see things. I'll know. So I'll know what colour somebody's aura is, but I don't actually technically see it. And for a while, when I first started learning and doing psychic development, I thought that was wrong, because everyone went, oh, you'll see this. And then actually I realised sense, perceive, visualize, whichever way that you want to, but sense is probably the best way to say. So I might fall into saying see, but I actually mean sense. So there is a difference. If you're trying to look at your own, then it's actually easier to kind of go to close your eyes and to feel it. So it's like closing your eyes and then kind of, what is my aura like? And then you'll see what sensations come up. Also, when you're looking to actually see something, there is this whole idea that you're seeing it with your eyes, or your third eye is here and it's more out here, so it's actually easier to be at a distance. So you can practice this with pets, or you can practice this with people on the tube. Oh, you have to be careful, because obviously in London people don't like you talking or looking at them in the tube, on the tube. So if you're trying to see what someone's aura looks like, and bear in mind we already have this kind of inbuilt. When you meet somebody, and usually you meet somebody, you go to shake their hand, or if you're European, kiss on the cheeks, you will take an instant kind of like or sometimes you get this visceral, no, don't like this person, don't want to be there. It's because you're standing in that auric field, you're standing in that aura, and you can sense that unpleasantness, or that idea that it doesn't connect to yours. So we already have that inbuilt, and I think sometimes there's this idea that we are doing something brand new, and the understanding that it's there and we can already do it kind of tends to take a lot of blockages away. So there's no huge kind of like exercises for looking at someone's aura. So it's easier to do someone from a little bit of a distance, and then you kind of focus on them. And remember, you're looking kind of just around their body. And you might not see all of it. Think of it like all of intuitive work is like tuning a radio, tuning in. That's why people do say tuning in. You are tuning a radio. You know the old dial ones where you used to have to try and find that station, which is a bit tricky, and sometimes move the aerial. That's what we're doing. We're training ourselves to see an aura. We're training ourselves to sense an aura. So, you can look at somebody and say, what colour do I think they are? Because actually, when we talk about colours, we're talking about, again, their auric field. What colour does this person bring up? What do I feel when I look at that person? What colour do I feel? Because we associate colours in our own head with emotions or different types of feelings. So actually that would, I feel that person is blue, because that's why we talk about blue being a bit down. Because we actually say that person, I feel a bit blue. So actually we already do in our heads kind of connect colours to feeling and senses. So all you're doing is you're looking at someone, and you can do this at home with your pets if you don't want to stare at people in the streets, because it takes a while to tune in. And you can kind of start just kind of focusing on them, and because you're focusing on looking for their aura, then you can actually start just to kind of usually start seeing. You might see a flash of colour, might be bright, you might see a little bit of a spark, you might see a shadow over side. You might feel it being, okay, well, I kind of feel orange for some reason, or I feel red, or I feel green. So it's about taking note of what your senses are going on. Don't always expect it to be a visual, but actually it takes a while to tune in. So that's why it's, if you are going to do that whilst you're out and about, it's quite interesting because you set that intention. I want to see people's aura, and then you kind of start looking, and you won't immediately see it if you're not used to it, but actually you'll start kind of starting to tune in. And there's no real exercises apart from sitting down, relaxing, closing your eyes, and you can even think about people and what colour do you see them as, and those type of things. So I don't really see that there's a huge amount of exercise apart from practical of looking and trying to see what colour you associate, what colour do you think that there's around them, because bear in mind your auric field is around you. And seeing whether you get any things pop into your head, because you're not trying to actually delve in to them psychically, you're just asking about auras. So what colour aura do they do? But bear in mind your aura does contain a lot of information about you, about that person. So you can do this just while you're out about, what colour aura do I think this person is? And when you're asking yourself internally this, it's when you're focusing on it, you will tend to have these flashes straight away, or these little kind of insights straight away. And then, because I think usually we're not focusing on it, so you don't actually see it. Now note that, I was going to say concentrating, but there's sometimes when you concentrate something too hard, it's really hard to kind of, it's hard to, you get frustrated because you're concentrating so hard on seeing it, you often then it's a struggle to see it. So yeah, whilst you're out and about, just start looking at people, spend a little bit of focus on them, see what you sense and see what comes up. I'm sorry that I don't have any kind of amazing exercises to see auras, other than really tips. So just remember, if you want to do your own, close your eyes, sense it. How do you feel about it? What colour do you think it is? Or if you're a visual person, it's easier to visualise yourself. What does my aura look like? Visualisation is always great when you're doing any psychic intuitive work. Remember that it's harder when it's right here. You want it to be a little bit of a distance. It's easier to see, and often it's easier to see from kind of a bigger distance, because often we get caught up in, say, looking at someone's jacket or looking at someone's facial features and things like that. It's harder. It's often easier to do with pets, because pets will stay in the same position and they don't care if you stare at them. And also babies are quite good, because babies don't care if you stare. People tend to worry if you're staring, but actually just look at distance. When you start doing this, you'll start perceiving and sensing what their aura is. And I think also once you start letting go of the idea of that you have to see it, I think you'll realise that you already know, and you already do a lot more sensing with auras. So I might try and do a little bit more on the auric field. What is it? What is it made up of? Obviously with the subtle bodies, and how does it connect to your physical self, and how do it ties into a whole kind of well-being, your energetic self, and how do you look after your own auric field, and a little bit more about that. And I've been talking online about vortex, and how we are a vortex, and how that we are energy, which we know, but actually that's our energetic self, and often it's our auric field where people step into. That's where people meet us first, as opposed to often our physical self. And especially in relationships, you can find that you've met their energetic self. I was talking about Damon's yesterday, which I'm going to do some more videos on, but you often will meet their energy before you've met them, and it's their energy that you get that connection, instant connection or instant repulsion from, because that is their energetic self. So anyway, have a great day today, and I will probably be doing more videos tomorrow.